Okay guys, so this video will be in two parts. The first part I'll go do a recap of Monday's trading, and the second part will be watch list for Tuesday. I'm watching these Dries. They have toxic financing, so they've just been selling paper for months and months. But it's kind of starting to get overextended on the long side. It's down like 80% just the past 3 weeks or something. May have a snapback move, but it probably needs to sell off one more day, and then it may have a snapback. I'm just keeping an eye on it in case there's a good intraday setup. APRI, it's really an ETRM sympathy trade, but it's starting to build a little bit of range here. So if it's get some volume through this range, maybe a long setup. Belt, same thing. So let's see. This is a wheat stock. I'm just tracking. Preferably goes sideways for another few days. But if it starts perking with volume here, maybe a long setup. I was actually almost filled here on this day. Had a really good breakout. But I didn't get filled. I was a few pennies from getting filled. I didn't want to chase it, so I was sitting on a bid, but yeah, missed this one. A little bit annoyed because it made a huge move. I did short it here on the opening range lows. It went down like almost 50% in 2 sessions, so that was a good trade. But yeah, now it looks like it may be setting up again. But preferably goes sideways for a few more days. It's not really ready yet. ACBFF, another wheat stock, deep perk here on volume. I'm thinking about buying it today. I haven't really decided yet. URG, uranium stock, starting to set up, starting to look very good on a 60-minute. Same thing with UEC. This one looks even better. These things can go. These things can go. Uranium has been hot for about a month now. Also, URRE is another one. They had an offering, so I'm not really sure about this one. Maybe a bit of overhang. CCJ. Yeah, they had the bad guidance, so it gapped down. So there's really no setup here. But this is another uranium name. Looks really good on the 60-minute. Higher lows has a range here at 365-ish. So yeah, this thing could have another leg up. Can make a big move. So this is definitely a very close watch. This is a gold name. I'm taking it. I'll go through the gold trade later. IGM also, this move started with a Seeking Alpha article. And now it's just going sideways, building a flag. Also, very interesting name. Another gold name. PTLA, Biotech, just going sideways. FNMA, I'm just tracking it. It needs to set up another few days, but this is something in big moves. CTIC, I don't know what this is doing here. Asia and Twilio, 2 recent IPOs that had big runs earlier this year. It looks like they have been bottoming now, but they are probably not ready yet. But I'll track them. Because in a few days, they may break out and make some nice moves into earnings. I think they both have earnings in a couple of weeks, so they may make big moves. This one doesn't look that good. I'm just tracking. This is kind of a long setup. So like on the long side, you have a big move, a sideways action, and then you get these moving averages that catch up. And usually when they catch up, these things can, when they break out of that formation, can make really big moves. GWPH, not really ready yet. A recent IPO, I'm just tracking it. I always track recent IPOs because especially with good short patterns, because these things can really go, and technical analysis works very well on recent IPOs. Pola, another thing, if it perks with volume, could be a swing start. I actually bought it here on this day here, but didn't have any follow through, so I took actually pretty decent loss on it. Not that I had an enormous amount of size or anything, but I had too much size in relation to the volume, so I had huge slippage here. I think, I had an automated stop loss at 950. I think I got filled at like low nines or something. It was just ridiculous. So stupid. Never do. I think I had like 4,000 shares, and this thing, I wanted to do more, but it's a very thin stock. Traded like there's like 100, 200,000 shares on average. Many days only 50,000 shares. So this one looks pretty good, and again 50 days has almost caught up with the price. May go. This is another recent IPO. It's flagging here, higher lows on the 60-minute. It may go. The 50 days catching up. Blue. May if it breaks out, may be a good setup. Nano, yeah, again maybe. Sino, this one actually I'm gonna set an alert on this one later. PMD, super thin stock. Actually, I'm gonna remove it later. This is too thin for me. Golf, recent IPO. If it breaks this range here with volume, could have some follow through. Coop, another bottoming recent IPO, had a big move here. I didn't trade it. I should have. I saw this breakout. As you can see, I had a little arrow here. Just put it here for tracking purposes, and had some really good follow through. CRK still going sideways. Another recent IPO. This is a biotech that's actually holding up very well. Biotechs have been very weak the past couple of weeks, and this is one of the few that's holding up. So if the biotech stop going down or start going sideways or even start going up, this thing can have a big move. 50 days almost caught up with the price, and this is exactly what I want to see. These kind of setups. Again, oil gas name probably needs more time. Another one is resting on a 50-day. These things are not going to do anything unless these oil names as a whole group break out. As you can see, this one broke down out of this range today, but this one is holding up. Cheapro. Nah, I don't know. If it has huge volume on a breakout, I may do it. Again, just tracking this one. Another shipper. DNR, again, oil name just needs to break out with a group. CRC does not look good. WTI, it feels a bit extended. I'll remove it. LGCY, I'm just gonna set an alert for the range break here. I don't need to look at it every day. Let's see some shorts. This one I was thinking about trading out on Monday, but it's just a little bit on the thin side. I really wanted that 556 push, but it didn't materialize. So no trade here. What had some short article. This is a very disputed stock. Some people are usually bullish, some people are usually bearish. I lean on the bearish side. I think there's way too much hype there. There's like a 99% probability it's not gonna be in the next iPhone. Just all the evidence points against it, but it's holding up. A lot of retail people, they just refuse to see the facts. But yeah, I don't know when the next iPhone announcement is, but it may be a great short when that happens. REN, I'm just tracking. I had a huge move. Has a little bit of a range here in the 60-minute. If it breaks down here, it could have a couple of dollar downside. This is more of a swing trade, kind of a short. I'm just tracking it. If it looks great on the intraday chart, I may do it. But if it like shows relative weakness or something, that's always a good sign. But so far, past 6 months, it's only been showing relative strength. I had a good short. Damn, there's so much text. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. I had a good short, and when it broke below this range here, I had a very good short on it. It went down like 25% in 3, 4, 5 days. So I'm thinking, same thing may happen here. It's not going to go up for all eternity. It is going to pull back. But it's still a little bit dangerous. I think long term, I think this thing has more upside. Fundamentally, they have some good stuff going for them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go up another 10, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, whatever. But short term, I think this may pull back to at least a 50-day or something. Nvidia, I was actually shorted for a couple of weeks. I shorted it here, opening range lows, or actually not opening range lows on this day. Shorted somewhere here. I had a really good short on it, and I actually covered it yesterday because it's just going sideways since. So I'm gonna remove this one. Tesla, I'm tracking it. Hopefully it goes to like 260 or something, but this is straight up. It's gonna pull back eventually. Like same thing in February, March, it went straight up. I had some really good shorts on it. I was early a couple of times, so I took some losses on the way up, but then sized in when they finally started going down. So that was great. So I'm looking for something similar here. Maybe a couple more days upside and then a pullback like the 20-day, the yellow line here. INFI, no, I closed kind of weak. I'm not going to watch this one. CNX again. I lost on it Friday. I did not trade it Monday. I was thinking about it, but it just went sideways in a range. There was nothing there. But now it's starting to look really interesting. I would preferably it goes to like 15 or something today, but we'll see. I'm gonna look at something like opening range lows or green to red or lower highs or late day fades, something like that. I'm not gonna short randomly into strength. I want to see some kind of weakness first. Veil also needs to go up another day. It's probably not ready yet. It's starting to get extended. Huge move from the lows here, just going higher, higher, higher. It will have a snapback eventually, especially if it goes to like 11, 11.50 or 12 or something like that. You will have a snapback. Chainag, I've been bearish on this thing for a few days. It trades on gold. So if gold goes down, that thing will go down. Gold is a little bit extended. So Chainag looks like a great breakout chart from this little flag formation, but this thing doesn't trade like a stock. So I don't know. I'd rather short it. I'm not gonna pick any tops on it. I'm not gonna trade it on the long side. This thing is programmed to go to zero. It's all these triple ETFs. As you can see, there's like reverse split, because it just keeps going down, down, down. This thing was 200 bucks. And once it gets down to like sub 5 or something like that, they're gonna do a reverse split again. GLBS. Now this is an interesting one. They're trying to do an offering, but it's not going through for some reason. I don't know the details, but basically there's a lot of people have been shorting it the past week because there's an offering coming. They're trying to do an offering. So, and they're gonna get a bad price on it because there's really no demand for the offering. No one wants to buy this piece of shit, even not at a discount. So there's actually a couple of trades in this one. One is on the long side. So you can see this 12 area has been an area where it has been rejected. So if it starts breaking this with volume, especially later in the day, like let's say if it goes sideways all day on Tuesday, starts breaking out on high volume, this thing have a big run into the close. Nothing I would hold overnight. And it could also be a short intraday. I'll see about it. It had a 300% move from the lows, so it's both a long and a short. The short I would hold overnight, especially if it closes very weak. That's something I would hold overnight. NAK, now this is really starting to set up nicely. So the story here is basically, as you can see, this thing was at 22 bucks back in 2011. And now, then it got back down to 25 cents, actually 20 cents, and now it's at, actually it was at 360, 350.87 in after hours on Monday. So this thing can keep going, okay? If there's something I've learned from shorting momentum stocks is don't be too early. This thing needs to go to, this thing can go to 4 or 5 bucks in a straight line. So the short here, I'm probably not gonna short it on well today. So ideal scenario would be if it goes up all day, closes strong, and then has some more follow through on Wednesday. That would be something that I will be very interested in it. But right now, just tracking it, I may do it small size because I'm always affected by fear of missing out. So I'll try to do it like 10th of my normal size or something, or 20% of my normal size, just to be in it, just to feel like if it goes down without going to 4 or 5 bucks first, I'll still participate a little bit. But again, this is, if it goes like 5 or something, I'll be in this thing huge size. If it goes up today and then on Wednesday, I will have no problem shorting 50, even 100,000 shares of this thing. And try to catch like a 50-cent move on the downside or something like that, or even $1 move on the downside. Actually, if it goes to like 4 or 5, probably the move down will probably be $1 in a day or two. But we'll see. This is something again set up and be a huge trade. OWCP is, it had a big run, faded, and now it's been bouncy for 2 days. I'm thinking if this thing can go green to red, may fade back to sub 50 cents or something like that. In that case, this will be a dead cat bounce. But it can also keep going. But again, I'm looking for weakness. Strong open and then just fizzle off. That's something I would be interested in. MYHI, I really want 120s, 130s first. It really needs to go up another day, I think. I probably won't look at it today. Okay, let's go through some... Oh, by the way, I was gonna tell the story about NAK. So they're sitting on huge gold reserves in Alaska, and what happened is, the Obama administration, they were very environmentally protective. So these guys didn't get the mining permits for the reserves. So it's just been going down, down, down. They've just been bleeding cash and whatnot. And now, since Trump got elected, and Trump, he doesn't give a shit about the environment. So the market is really anticipating that they may get the permits to get their gold and silver out, because they're really sitting on huge reserves. And if they get those permits through, this thing can go back to 10, 15, 20 bucks. But again, on the short term, it's very extended. This thing will pull back. It probably needs to go up a couple more bucks again. I'm really excited about this one because it can be a really big trade if it sets up right. So you don't get these ones very often. And it's pretty liquid too, even though it's low price, it can do a lot of size. So that's something I'm very interested in. Let's see. Now I'm just repeating myself, sorry for that. Now, let's look at another watch list. What I do is I usually track when stocks break out or break down, especially if there's news on them. I usually track them, even if I don't trade them. Most of the time I don't trade them. But it's fun to track them and look back a couple of weeks or even a couple of months later and see what they did. This is another Bottom Bio, had some volume perk. GSV Gold name, really good breakout here. Decent volume. It's still kind of thin name, low price, but relatively it was high volume. Good go, especially if gold keeps going, and very easy to go to $3. AZO, ORLY had some news. Amazon is starting to take their business. So they all broke down. So let's see if they keep going down. AVHI, home builder, had a nice little volume breakout here. BABA, NTS, Momo, all Chinese stocks. Nice high volume breakouts. This Momo, I almost bought it, but I don't know. I hesitated and then it went higher and I didn't want to chase it. But it looks really good. You have a tight flag, recent momentum name. This thing can make nice moves, can very easily go back to $26-27. NTNX, recent IPO, it doesn't really look that good here. Here it had a breakout from the bottom range, had a big move, 30%. Let's see, maybe it goes. Google looks great. They have earnings later this week, but can go to like 860s, 870s. Maybe not 870s, but 860s is very possible before that. OLED at high volume, range break here. I usually want to see tightness before the breakout day. Something like this. A couple of tight candles before the breakout. But it has some decent volume, so I'm tracking it anyways. CMRX, another one. Bottom biotech can go to like 657. U-Haul, this was nice. Flag, tight consolidation, and relatively high volume breakout. It's a very thin stock, but it's high priced, so the dollar volume is actually pretty decent on it. NGVT, recent IPO, didn't really have any volume, but it bounced on the 50-day, long, smooth, nice, clean uptrend. This is exactly what I want to see on the long setups. And then a bounce of moving averages like 20, 50 are the ones that I usually trade. This is a bottom stock, has big volume. What I understand from the news, this is pretty much capped here at 435, 440. But we'll see. AP also had Amazon news, gap down. VIAV, nice breakout, huge volume, 7 million shares. This is something one can do, a lot of size, but I didn't see it in my scans. I maybe would have bought it here in the high 80s, 870s, 880s, but I didn't see it for some reason. iTube, Latin American Bank. Latin American stocks have been pretty strong the past couple of weeks. Many of them have been straight up, so it's a little bit extended. But yeah, it looks okay. Just tracking it. This is something I'm thinking about buying on Tuesday. Another wheat stock. These things can really make big moves. Max. Now this is probably running on the Trump policy thingy, or not the policy, but they're thinking about moving their U.S. embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and this is an Israeli security name, so it's probably being pumped on that. It didn't have a huge volume. Relatively, it had a big volume, but relative to its float, it didn't have. I would have preferred to see a couple of million shares traded. This thing, this thing can go. This thing has made big moves in the past. A few years ago. This thing can go to like $8-10. But again, it still trades a little bit thin, so probably not gonna look at it. Maybe if it sets up in a few weeks or so. But this is, it could really go. This is the kind of stock that these chat rooms and stuff, they love to pump these, when they have a catalyst like that. Macro catalyst. This, it can really go. Virt, a little bit of a breakout here, high volume, nice. Just keeping track of it. I'll go back a few weeks from now and see what it did. Giga, very thin name, but it's a beaten down bottom micro cap name. It can go to 150 or something. Mankind, another one. I was thinking about buying it because this thing has a history of huge runs, like I said in the last video I made. I think I made it on Friday or during the weekend. This thing can go 100% if it goes. It's made it, time and time again. But really didn't have the volume I was looking for, so I didn't buy it. Excel, another biotech's holding up very, very well. These biotechs, they've been weak. Most of them have broken down, but this is holding like a champ. I would prefer more sideways action. It's not really ready yet. Chibi had a great breakout. Short term, a bit extended. I was thinking about buying it, but nah, it feels a bit extended. This kind of a tightness would have been nicer here, but now it feels a bit extended. Okay, that's it. So the video is a little bit longer than I thought it would be, so I'm gonna try to keep it shorter next time, but I'm new to this YouTube video making thing, so bear with me. Okay, good luck on Tuesday. Oh, by the way, I forgot about this one. I actually forgot to do this recap thingy. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been on this one since Thursday or Friday on the short side. I traded it on a Monday, on Friday I had a really good trade on it, and I traded it again on Monday. I had another really good trade on it. I traded the opening range lows just before it went red, and these were the only 3 trades I did. VNR, I actually bought it on Friday in another account. I saw some volume coming in, and it's basically bottomed out, higher lows. This is 60-minute chart. As you can see, this made a huge move like a month back. I'm not true. So I bought some more in the account I showed you. I bought it here 86 cents, tiny size, since I was already long, decent size from Friday. I came back in, I sold it for a loss. I really didn't want to see a weak close like this. And I also traded GLBS on the long side because let's look at the 5-minute chart. Had some volume coming in late day, so I was actually up like $2,000 on it, but then it started going back down. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna hold it overnight anyway, so I'll just sell it. Okay, that's it.